Hello and welcome to History 374, which is Peoples and Plagues or Plagues and Peoples. Um, Basically, looking historically at plagues, epidemics, pandemics across space and time, and also looking at how societies have responded to them. What we're going to do in this short-ish video, 15-20 minutes here, is just take a look at what the class entails, how we're going to operate, and so on, in case there's any questions about that. Of course, if you're watching this, then you've already, I think, probably accessed the weekly agenda and have gotten at least far enough to watch this video. So, hey, yay you. Okay, good job. All right, now if I can do a good job here, we're going to take a look at, not that, we're going to take a look at the syllabus. Here we go. Hopefully that works. I'm going to do the whole classic thing here of starting class by looking at the syllabus. All right. So, once again, we're in History 374, Plagues and Peoples, Epidemics and Populations in History. And the first thing you need to know is this is a totally online class. Okay, there are no in-person meetings, and this might be the only way you see me all semester long. All right. Now I do have an in-person class this semester, so I have some office hours in my office actually, and you're welcome to come to those if you'd like. Those are listed right there on the top of the syllabus here. And I'm setting aside at least an hour Thursday afternoon for virtual office hours. But I'm also available by appointment. I'm only in campus Monday and Wednesday, and so I'm pretty flexible other days of the week. If you want to meet, the best way to do that, shoot me an email. Just suggest a couple of days and times that you're available. I'll see if it links up with my schedule, and I'll send you a Google Meeting invite. All right. You've got the rest of the usual contact info there, where my office is, telephone that I don't use much, and my email address, which is the best way to get a hold of me. All right, so what do we have here? We have a class, once again, impact of epidemics throughout time, how human communities have responded to them, and so on. Now, it's unstated here, so I will state it. Really, what I'm hoping to achieve here is for us to view historical epidemics through the lens of our own experience. You know, we've lived through so far, I hope, this global pandemic the last 2+ years, still going on, right? That should give us certain insights about things, you know, and it's going to require us to start to be a little self-reflective to start, and then just take a step back from that and look at how our society has responded to things. And so we're going to start doing that certainly next week when we're reading Camus' The Plague and discussing that. I think it's a really instructive text in that regard. But that's the kind of thing, really, the mindset throughout this semester. You know, when we point out people in medieval Europe and say they're doing weird things about responses to plague, and then take a step back and say, hey, is that really that much different than the way we've responded to things? Anyway, okay. So, got certain aims for the course here: introduction to the history of medicine and disease, opportunity to study key topics in the history of health, disease, and medicine. Look at concepts of continuity and change and practices of medicine, as well as healthcare in general and broader concepts of health, and so on. Anyway, okay, you can read all that. Course communication, primarily here, announcements on D2L and emails. You have to check your NEIU email address. That's just the way it's going to be. If you're not going to read it, then you can set it up to forward to your whatever you use, Gmail or whatever else you have. Okay, but everything, it's school policy. It's got to go to your NEIU email address. So you're going to need to check that. All right. Course location and time, once again, because we're online, we don't have a location. We don't have much of a specific time, but the class is set up with weekly units. So the week starts on Monday and goes through 11:59 p.m. the following Sunday, and you are going to have to get your work done during that week. Now, within that period, when you do it, that's kind of up to you. okay, as long as you get it done by certain times. Um, Now, I will say most of it, presentations like this one, once again, if you're watching this, you know that, will be on YouTube. Almost everything else is going to be through D2L. Now, I will say D2L has something of a big brother functionality about it. It tracks your activity. I'm going to know if you're doing the reading of the discussion boards, how long you spend on there, all that sort of stuff. Okay? Um, I'm going to be able to check YouTube and see, if the video only has 3 views, then I know that not everybody in the class is watching it. Okay? So, we don't have in-person classes. I'm not breathing down your neck, but there are certain ways to kind of track your progress here. That said, you're going to have to work independently. If you're someone who can't be organized to do that and can't work independently, an online class may not be the best choice for you. Also, I'm not in class. I can't see you. I can maybe track how often you log into D2L, but I can't see the look in your eyes when we discuss material. That blank stare that says you're not really getting it. Okay? So if you're not, or you need help in some way, you're going to need to reach out to me. Okay? There's not much other way to go about it. Okay? All right. So, as you should know already, since once again, hopefully you found it, I will post the weekly agenda on D2L. It'll tell you what the objectives are for the week, what the readings are you need to do, and generally do them in this order, which is do the readings, watch the videos, which there'll be 2 for this week, and then whatever activities you need to do. All right. And as it says here, there will be some kind of assignment or assignments every week. We've got to keep you engaged with the material here, whether it's a discussion board or a quiz. Next week, there might be one of each over the Camus reading. Evaluating primary sources, and so on. Some short papers, maybe a longer paper. I'll try to mix it up a little bit. So there's going to be something every week that needs to be done. These videos themselves are going to be fairly short, so the rest of the time is going to be doing some other things. All right. All of our times are in Central Time Zone, whether it's Central Standard or Central Daylight Time. We'll be switching, I guess the end of October. But anyway, whatever the time is in Chicago, that's the time that I'm counting for when things are due. Okay. Now, if you need help in some of the functions on D2L, if you're not really familiar with them, it's pretty easy. You're probably going to do better than I am because I'm an old guy, right? Okay, so the Center for Teaching and Learning at Northeastern has this website they want me to give you. Frankly, you got to click through a bunch of things. I don't find it all that helpful. I've created this other document called Tutorials for D2L, which is in the content section of D2L. And it basically links to some YouTube help videos. They're about 2 minutes long, but they just walk you through the clicks and links and so on you have to do on D2L to do certain things like discussion boards and stuff like that. So even if you haven't done it before, it's pretty straightforward. My recommendation is get on D2L and start looking around and just familiarize yourself with the different sections and so on, and so you're comfortable. Then if you do have a problem with it, then reach out to me and let me know, and then we can deal with it together. Okay. Academic integrity policy. So Northeastern has a student code of conduct, which basically says don't plagiarize or cheat on any assignments. All right. Now, I find their statements to be not as direct as they could be. So here's what I want you to do. And this will be one of your first written assignments. I want you to go to this link right here. You can just open up the syllabus and click on it. Okay. It's from Dartmouth College, Learning Materials. Well, I'll do it right now. See what comes up here. Here we go. Just read right here. What is plagiarism? Just read through this section right here. Okay. That's what I want you to do. And then when you're done with that, what I want you to do is to write out a statement. Sign and date it. It reads as follows. I understand what plagiarism is and pledge not to commit it into my assignments. I understand the rules of academic citations and will follow them. And that's going to be due the second week of class. There's a folder in the assignments section on D2L already that says plagiarism statement, and you can upload the statement to that folder. All right. Once again, let me know if you got any questions about any things. Okay. There's an attendance policy, of course. Now, of course, the university attendance policy doesn't take into account the fact we're online, but your attendance, is your engagement, right? Is what it really means here. When we have discussion boards, it means not just posting, but reading your classmates' posts. Okay? It means being involved in what's going on. Okay? And once again, watching the videos, etc., etc. If you're not going to take part in things, you're not going to do well in this class. Okay? Now, the other thing you need to do to take part in things is to do the reading. And if you haven't already, step one, and I think I put that on the agenda. Number one, read the syllabus and get the books. All right? You need to get these books. The Laurie Garrett book, now these are all in paperback. They're all pretty cheap. There's used copies galore. You can get them, a lot of them. The Garrett book we're going to use a little bit later. If you want to hold off buying that for several weeks, that's fine. Okay, Rory Porter, you're going to need right away. Watts and Camus, we're going to start reading next week. Once again, you can find used copies of Camus for $3. You could probably find a bootleg version online somewhere, but you need to do the reading, okay? Don't just go to the Spark Notes version. Yeah, I know about that, okay? All right, so what are we going to do? So this week, introduction to the course. And then I'll have a separate video here in a little bit that's going to talk about some concepts of health, disease, and medicine. Read Roy Porter. I'm going to skim through this. You don't have to memorize every word. And then start reading Camus for next week, because that's 185 pages. Now, it's a novel. It goes pretty quickly, but it's still a chunk of reading. Okay? All right, then. And then every week we'll have topic, we'll have readings to do, we'll have some assignments, and so on. So that's essentially how things are going to work. Okay? Most of the assignments will be from the books. Some of them will be posted on D2L in the content section, and you'll find that there. This one is one you can find online. That's why I put the link in there, D2L, books, class books, and so on. Okay. Yeah, the first use of Garrett, I think, is until week 9. So you can certainly hold off buying that if you want to. Okay, so that's kind of the intro to the class, how things are gonna function. I'm looking forward to it. My PhD was in medical history, and always found it to be a fascinating topic. I also, so I got my PhD in medical history, did research in Uganda on history of STDs. Then I came back. I did a couple classes actually at the Northwestern Medical School before I did my research, and then I came back and ended up teaching a class kind of like this one at Northwestern. Then I actually ended up started teaching at the Northwestern Medical School. I taught there for 4 years in medical humanities, and then worked in a number of hospitals around town. So I've had a fair background on the medical side of things. I also worked in the medical archives at Rush University. I've been around all over. Anyway, so that's kind of my background about things. So I look forward to your first discussion post where I ask you to talk a little bit about your interest in the class and kind of experience and so on. And now you've had mine. Okay, look for the second video then, talking about concepts of health, disease, and medicine. And that's it for the week. Thanks.